So just now, I was wiping my specs, right? Those of you who wear specs probably can relate to this. Those who don't wear spectacles, you can imagine, okay? So sometimes when your spectacles get smudgy, yeah, oily, sometimes we accidentally touch our specs. Over the whole day, we may not realize. Yeah. When do we realize it? Usually only when we remove our specs. Yeah. And look at the specs. When you're looking through the specs, you cannot see that it's smudgy. I mean, you can actually, but it's not apparent. Yeah. Only when you take it out and actually, when you look at the specs, not look through the specs. So just now when I was cleaning it, this occurred to me. And I thought, this is similar to our views, Yeah. When we are looking at the world through our viewpoint, we don't see whether it's correct or wrong. We don't see whether it's smudgy. But only when we take out our view and look at the view itself, then perhaps we might be able to see. Yeah. Then we can clean our views. Yeah. So this applies to our views in terms of like the Noble Eightfold Path right view, right? Yeah. So in terms of that, it also applies in terms of our worldly day-to-day mindset, attitude, and so on. Yeah. In a way, now when we talk about it, it seems like there's two different types. One is the spiritual view, one is the day-to-day view. But actually, they are the same thing. Yeah. They are actually talking about the same thing. What do I mean by that? Because the so-called spiritual right view, yeah, the right view that is stated in the or declared by the Buddha, is meant to be how we look at our world. It's how enlightened ones look at this world. That he see clearly that killing is unwholesome, stealing is unwholesome, sexual misconduct is unwholesome, lying is unwholesome, and so on. The whole 10 unwholesome deeds. And he see clearly that not killing, abstaining from stealing, and so on, is wholesome. He see clearly that suffering is suffering. He see clearly that the cause of suffering is the cause of suffering. The origin is the origin. He see clearly that the end of suffering is the true end of suffering. He see clearly the way leading to the end of suffering as the way leading to end of suffering. In other words, those that is not the way, he see clearly that is not the way also. Yeah. It's not that there's a separate mindset about this world compared to our normal mindset. Our normal mindset tend to be tainted with ego. Yeah. Tainted with ego, tainted with self, tainted with attachment, tainted with wrong views, tainted with the notion of permanence when there's no permanence, tainted with happiness when in fact tainted in our perception to see and think that there's happiness when there's no happiness. Yeah, 常乐我净. Tainted to see that there's beauty when there's no beauty to be had. Yeah, so initially we learn about right view. It's okay. We think, okay, this is right view. But then in our day-to-day life, when we deal with people, things, and so on, we have our own way of thinking, right? Yeah. So we think that it's two separate things. Yeah. But eventually, we should see that it is meant to be used in our daily life. Yeah. That should be how we are looking at things. But when I say that should be how, it's also wrong. Yeah, because there's no should. Yeah, it's more about to realize that that is really how it is. Yeah, and once you realize that is really how it is, then that is naturally how you look at things. That is your natural right view. Yeah, then you see that it's actually not a view. It's just the way it is. Sorry, I should have started off with reading this first. Buddha's words is more important. But you see, to a little bit of thinking, then so excited. I must tell you. I apologize. So let me see. Okay, today we read from 145. Hell, your favorite topic. Book of 5. We are still at Book of 5. This is a very thick book. So we are this is Anguttara Nikaya. So there's a lot of sutta in this. So Book of 5 will continue until where? Until where will it stop? We are now, let me see, just to give you all some anticipation. We are at page 762. The whole of Book of 5 ends at 850. So I think we'll be on Book of 5 for quite a while. So today's sutta is on hell. Bhikkhus, one possessing 5 qualities is deposited in hell as if brought there. What 5? One destroys life, takes what is not given, engages in sexual misconduct, speaks falsely, and indulges in liquor, wine, and intoxicants, the basis for heedlessness. One possessing these 5 qualities is deposited in hell as if brought there. So let me just pause here. So what is this? These are actually the 5 precepts. Yeah, 5 precepts. So, and the 5 precepts is a subset of the 10 wholesome deeds, right? So this is the things not to do, right? The precept is basically abstaining from these 5 things. Yeah. So killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and avoiding of the taking of alcohol and intoxicants. Yeah, the basis for heedlessness. So what is the consequence? You will be deposited in hell as if brought there. Yeah. So the whether and here you never talk about precepts. It's just saying you do this, you get this result. Yeah. This is the basis why the Buddha teach people to abstain from these 5 things, because you see those who do this end up there. I think you all probably don't there. Then probably abstain from this. In Buddhism, this is the basis. So further, bhikkhus, one possessing 5 qualities is deposited in heaven as if brought there. What 5? One abstains from the destruction of life, abstains from taking what is not given, abstains from sexual misconduct, abstains from false speech, abstains from liquor, wine, and intoxicants, the basis for heedlessness. One possessing these 5 qualities is deposited in heaven as if brought there. So this is today's sutta. Yeah. So, any questions about what I've shared about the sutta or what I shared earlier? Let's see, still have 8 minutes. I want to maximize the time. Marcel, any short questions?
So can I ask one question?
And you can.
Yeah, so it's something that recently affected me. When I heard my friend is having some kind of misfortune, so I feel some kind of sadness for this friend. And so is this sadness a defilement that I have to overcome, or is it compassion? How do I know which is which?
Okay. So that's a very good question. Yeah, because it seems like the more compassion you have, the sadder you become. Yeah. So how to know whether it's compassion? Yeah. You know whether it's compassion when it's a personal thing. Yeah. So to begin with, you say that it's your friend, right? Then there's a high chance it's not compassion. Yeah. If it's compassion, it should um, it should not just be for your friend. Yeah. Even if it's not your friend, yeah, something that happened that's not for your friend, you will also feel that way. But we may also say that we may also feel something even if it's not our friends, right? So then you compare the two. If it's your friends versus not your friend, is it the same amount? If it's not the same amount, one of them is not compassion. Yeah. Oh. So compassion has no, compassion is not about how that person or who that person is in relation to you. Compassion doesn't say, oh, to your friend, then like that. Yeah, it only cares whether that person is suffering. Oh. Further, compassion is not simply about feeling sorry for that person. It's not about feeling troubled for that person's troubles or woes. It's about having that urge, that wish to remove the suffering. Yeah, they're very close. Yeah, they're very close, and it's almost like a hairline difference, but there is a difference. Yeah. In the sutta, the Buddha said, those who like, and this is specific to monks. He said, if for those who are who preoccupy themselves with thoughts of their family, yeah, then you'll be affected by the ups and downs of your family. Yeah, 盛衰事. Yeah, 盛衰事. So 盛 means the things that are good in general. Yeah, then you will be affected. Yeah, where if and then 衰事, those that the bad things that happen, unfortunate things that happen, then you will be affected also. So in the end, then your happiness and sadness then is pegged to them. Yeah. Then it's like the stock market. You go up, then you're happy. You go down, then you're not happy. And why? You think about it. Yeah. There are so many stocks in the stock market, right? Yeah. You are only affected by the one that goes up or down because you buy it. So that's not compassion. Yeah. Other stock go down, you look at it, yeah, should have contrite. Yeah. Other stock go up, you're not happy. You're like, yeah, I didn't buy. So, do we identify with it? Here, of course, for stocks you can buy, friends you cannot buy, right? We buy into our friends by vesting our interest in them, by identifying with them, by our clinging and attachment, thinking that that is my friend. Yeah, whose friend? Mine. Whose? Me, myself, me. Yeah. Yeah. It's with this, it's this that causes suffering, not the care that causes suffering. Care don't cause suffering. Just as love itself don't cause suffering. Yeah. It is the I that causes suffering, or the attachment to the I. And there's no I to begin with. Yeah. The notion, the clinging on to what we think is I, that causes suffering. Yeah. Oh. So um, that's That's the nature of our suffering. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of the upper layer, secondary cause, but at the bottom is almost inevitably always our attachment to us, whether it's this body, our ideas, our thinking, or our notion of a me. That's even that itself, just a notion of a me, that itself can cause suffering. Yeah. But if you really look at the teachings, right, the Buddha, in a way, never tell us, oh, you must drop it or not. He merely tell you that this is how it is, this is what is. You must go and see, you must go and examine, and only when you see that this is suffering, then you will stop holding on to it. Just as only when you have clear eyesight will you stop grabbing onto the burning kettle. Yeah. If you don't have clear eyesight, you are blind, you are blinded, then you are suffering, but you don't know that you caught what you were grabbing on is the hot kettle. Then you see again, where's my hot kettle? Clock. You keep burning yourself. Then that's how we spend our life. Yeah. Only when you truly see, this is the one that has been hurting me, not the other person. Yeah. My grabbing onto this is what is hurting me. Yeah. Then you stop. Yeah. Then you stop identifying with it. Yeah. That's why 烦恼即菩提. Yeah. In our defilements, then can we find enlightenment? Apart from that, no enlightenment to be attained. And even then, there's no enlightenment to be attained. Wait, Xiaofang has a question. Right? Could you have one?
Good morning. Can I check whether is compassion always accompanied with suffering, like feeling sad, or actually it is not necessarily accompanied with sadness? You just know that the person is suffering, but you may not be suffering together.
Compassion, true compassion doesn't come with suffering. Yeah, otherwise all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are all suffering like hell. They have great compassion for all sentient beings. Can you imagine how much suffering that will bring if compassion is to bring suffering? Yeah, compassion doesn't bring suffering. Yeah. There was once I was doing the 3-step 1 bound in Gongmingsan. Yeah. I was resident there at that point in time. So, but I'm quite jealous. The few times I did the 3-step 1 bound, I was like, there was one time I even vomited. Of course, some of the old timers would say, "Wow, 消业障." Yeah, for me, it's basically that because I don't, at the point in time, I'm very strict if not taking dinner. So, no dinner, then still go and it was about 11 plus, still, late at night. And then what happened? And then plus, halfway through, people offer me water, I just drink. So anyway, towards the Danlu Jietang part, next, the Guanxin Pusa on the left side. So then bow down. Then Zun bow down. Then I see a bee on the floor. And the bee, because it was drizzling, so the bee was stuck on the ground. It's a grass. I think that part I think there's pavement. So bow down, then I saw the bee. Yeah. So then I think 反应不过来. The brain a bit slow, so never think too much. Then I just don't think I go and press it and kill it. I just put my hand over it. Then it's because it was struggling. Then the hand just hold on to my finger. Then I lift it up slowly. Yeah. Then after that, blow, then it was just sitting on my finger. Yeah. I don't recall feeling suffering at all. Yeah. I don't recall feeling suffering but there was the intent to help it. I don't know whether that's true compassion. Yeah, that's the closest I can. I'm not a very compassionate person, so this is the closest I can tell you. Any closer, you need to look for Dalai Lama or some higher one. Maybe you can look for many other people before, because I'm quite far away from Dalai Lama. There are many people other in between. Yeah. But as far as I know, compassion doesn't bring suffering. Yeah, it's always our attachment. Free ourselves from attachment. Free ourselves from self. Yeah, no suffering outside. Suffering inside. Amitabha. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。
Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always, just two more things, okay? One, just because we feel suffering, and Sifu say it's not exactly compassion, doesn't mean it's a bad thing as well. Okay, at least you feel something for others people suffering. Okay, so don't be mistaken. Oh, then I should remove this and I don't care. that's not what we should be doing. So that's one thing. Second thing is, the other day on Sunday, I invited Henry Bay to come in to share on this project. I'm calling it Project Give Life. So he is getting donations to actually get oxygen concentrator to send to Sri Lanka. We have gotten one of the volunteers, Saikyam, to help be the point person on our site to consolidate. So those who are keen, keep a lookout on the links, or you can contact Saikyam and then see how we can help. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Take care, stay safe, and have a suffering-free day ahead.
Thank you, Sifu.
Thank you, 师父。
Take care, stay safe.
谢谢师傅，谢谢大家。
谢谢师傅，拜拜，
拜拜，
师傅，Thank you，
拜老妈，
拜拜，师傅，
拜拜。